What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am LessAlex. In today's video, you guessed it, I'm going to be playing blue-white control in Modern. If you dig this kind of content and you dig this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button. And if you didn't know, I do have a podcast called the Control Freak Podcast. It's a weekly podcast based all around Modern and all-around control decks in Modern. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you love casting cryptic commands to Fairy Time Ravelers and Jace the Mind Sculptors, you might want to go check that out. All that stuff will be in the description below, of course. But yeah, let's get into this deck. Again, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you watched my last video, this is the exact same 75. But if you didn't, welcome. This is basically blue-white control. Pretty stock deck. Pretty stock, but we do have some fun ofs, some really cool cards that I like in the deck. Gyro Reach Sanitarium, if you don't know, it's a card that locks with Narset. So basically you want to get them down to 0 cards. And yeah, just start locking them with Gyro Reach Sanitarium. They can't draw a card, so they just discard the card that they drew for turn. It's pretty great. Additionally, we're playing Hieroglyphic Illumination ×2 alongside 4 Ops, 4 Path to Exiles, and Oust, 3 Spell Snares. Spell Snares is very good right now. It hits Wrenn and 6. It hits Snapcaster Mage, Stoneforge Mystic, Mana Leak. So yeah, very powerful right now. We are playing a Mana Leak and a Logic Knot as well. 4 Snapcaster Mages. 1 main deck Timely Reinforcements because you got to beat the burn. 2 Force of Negations, obviously against the unfair decks. 3 Narsets. Again, because we're playing 3, I wanted to play the Gyro Reach Sanitarium. 2 Teferi Time Ravelers card is excellent. 2 Jace the Mind Sculptors. 3 Cryptic Commands. 2 Verdict because we got a Wrath of the board. Let's move on over to the sideboard. We got 2 Celestial Purge, 1 Disenchant, 2 Rest in Peace, 1 Stony Silence, 2 Monastery Mentors against the unfair decks, Tron, and the big mana decks. Those are great. Timely, obviously good against Jund, and obviously excellent against Burn. Disdainful Stroke, Surgical Extraction, Dovin's Veto, and Ashiok. So yeah, let's try and find a game. But again, thanks everybody for hanging out. If you haven't yet checked out the podcast, there's going to be a thing up there somewhere, and you can click on that card and check it out. And yeah, let's get into this this game. All right, everyone. Our last opponent didn't want to play Magic with us anymore. So now we're on to another opponent. This hand has 1 land, and it is not a colored mana source, so that is definitely a mulligan. This one, on the other hand, is pretty sick. Gonna keep it, and what do we want to bottom here? Timely's good against creature decks, not great against anything else, rather. I think we'll kind of hedge our bets and put the Teferi back. That way we have creature deck settled, and we have some interaction for the unfair decks or the slower decks too. So they start with Polluted Delta. Could be anything. Yeah, we're just going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped. And pass it back. Okay. Oh, so this is going to be some Esper Stoneblade, it looks like. Okay. Old school versus new school. I like it. I dig it. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a control mirror match. I would love to draw a Path to Exile. But we're not living that life. We're not living that life. Yeah, they're not attacking. So Let's see. They're going to put in a Batter Skull here. So the correct play would be to cast this. We're not going to gain the life, which does stink. But we will have blockers, so yeah. Alrighty. And there is the Batter Skull, so. Really kind of wish we would have kept Teferi now. Just attack with the Germ. Oof, Jace is really good. Gonna brainstorm with it. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, yeah, we're really behind the 8-ball right here. Where was that turn to? Tapped out. This can't counter Force Negation, so we're just gonna play this and cross our fingers. Bet the Exile's fine. I think it's our best bet here. Our opponent's going to bounce that. That's nothing we can do about it. This is probably going to get countered, and then we are going to concede if that happens and move to game 2. Yeah, if this ends up getting countered, I think it's safe to go to the next game. Our spells just didn't line up. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, that happens sometimes. Sometimes they just have turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, and you don't have a way to stop that. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so definitely want these things in against them. I'm not terribly big fan of Ashiok against Stoneblade. I do think it's probably good enough. We're going to be on the play. Their boards don't usually get too big. I'm going to keep one force in. So bringing in Disenchant obviously kills their swords. Stony Silent shuts their swords off. Dovin's Veto counters their counter spells and their swingy planeswalkers. Ashiok, I'm not sure if I'm sold on this card. It does not. It makes it to where that they can't do shenanigans with Snapcaster Mage, obviously. Do I like Surgical more, though? I think I do. Monastery Mentor to get a little aggro, of course. And we're on the play, so I'm not taking out any of my 2-mana quote-unquote 2 mana counter spells. On the draw, I think it's correct to take them out, though. I would like to play. Okay, this hand is... If they have turn 2, Stoneforge again. We can bounce it with Teferi. Yeah, I don't hate this hand. I don't love this hand, but like going 2 straight turns with no with lands entering the battlefield taps, not great. Oh my goodness. But we need a blue source, so we will play it. Interesting. They took 2 life there. Oh my gosh, they got Stoneforge again. That's pretty good. What's super awkward about this too is they can instant speed put in the blade if they want. So I think... Hang on, let's think about this. We can uptick to Fairy. Nah, I'm just gonna play this. No. It's correct to just play Teferi. I'm tripping. We get to bounce their Snapcat or their Stoneforge, and then it resets it so it has Summoning Sickness again. Force negation. It's like they never had it. Yep. Well, they just... we're just not winning this game no matter what happens here. Oh, okay. Yeah, you definitely play the Teferi there because you want to reset their Stoneforge Mystic activation to make it to where... Oh, wow. Okay, they're just doing this now? Okay. A little bit loose, but that's fine. Oh, what a good draw. Doing this now. So they can't bounce it back to their hand, obviously. I'm just going to play Glacial Fortress. That way we have all of our mana set up and ready for this Cryptic Command we're about to rip off the top. Now they just got a Squire. Not feeling terrible about this game anymore. That was a very, very good draw. Disenchant. Very underrated if you're not playing in your blue-white control and even in your blue-white Stoneforge decks. Definitely suggest. Oh my gosh. Well, we can't counter it. So we're not going to opt here. We're going to wait until the end of their turn. Got a Sword of Feast and Famine. Sword of Feast and Famine, not the end of the world, but definitely not. I could have done without that Stoneforge. That's fine. Play this here in Narset. Detention Sphere would be excellent. Chase the Mind Sculptor I'm into. That kind of sucks. We skipped over Mentor. So if we get Cryptic Command, we can tap their things or potentially bounce one of their dudes or the sword. Really cripple their mana and time walk them. However, if we get Jace, we just can... We already have a card draw engine, so I think Cryptic Command is what I like here. Very close, though. I think that could go either way, honestly. Let me know in the comments if you think that was If that was a little bit of a Punski, I don't know. It was close. Hopefully they play a relevant spell. I doubt they will, but hopefully they do. Like if they play a Teferi here, we're just living the dream. Yeah. So we get one more activation out of this Narset at least. Gonna go get an island since we have all of these blue-white lands. And I would hate for our Narset or something to happen like, okay, we just redrew a Jace. That's great. We just get to time walk them here because they're gonna. Oh. They didn't activate. That was probably a misclick. Oh my goodness! Now they're just misclicking everywhere. So now we're gonna bounce the Godless Shrine and draw a card. I want to use our mana here this turn. Gonna make them put the Sword of Feast and Famine in play. I want to see why they won it right now. Whew. That was a very good draw. They get a land, but like whatever, we're gonna. Oh my goodness. We're just going nuts now. Because now we get to cast Jace with Path and Logic not up. Seems insane. Gonna do it this way. I want to get this Path game going. And I have no interest in fetching away that Snapcaster Mage. So we have Path and Logic not ready. So if they even have a counterspell for our Path, we'll be in good shape. Maybe they have a Jace. Might have a Jace. They have 7 cards in there. That's so many cards. Yep. Just need one, so we're going to hit this Flestrand. X is currently 1. Yeah, that actually worked out pretty great. Still got 6 cards in their hands, so we're not out of the woods by any means, but... Now we're going to make it where they don't have a creature. So, pretty good. Gonna brainstorm with good old Jace here. And play this Mentor. And they're going to scoop it up. Yeah, I mean, we just kind of time walked them a couple turns in a row, and we drew very well. They apparently drew pretty bad, so yeah, that's on to game 3. I like our plan. Logic Knot's not so great on the draw. Like Force Negation a little bit more on the draw, I think. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. This will be the last game of this video. Again, if you do enjoy it, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. And check out my podcast, the Control Freak Podcast. I post new podcasts every single week, so check it out if you dig Modern. This hand is okay. I don't love it. I'm going to keep it, though. We are on the draw, which is really rough. Okay, that was a very good draw. All right, let's see. Do they have the turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic for the 3rd straight game? They shock themselves for an opt. We did it. They didn't have it. Awesome. Now our hand's actually just insane, so excuse me. Now that we know that they're not going to turn 2 Stoneforges. And this is the game we want to play right here. I think we're definitely better at going long than them. So if they just want to play landed pass, that is our MO. So they are trying to take a page out of our book, and I'm A-okay with that. Shocking down to 13 here. Snap opt. Sure. Alrighty, we're gonna play this Jace the Mind Sculptor and Fate Seal, targeting ourselves. Well, they're gonna have a cryptic command for it, maybe. Definitely appears that way. Yeah. Well, that happens. I mean, maybe the Jace there is a little bit greedy with 4 open mana, but geez, they are really hurting themselves here. Well, that's getting ousted ASAP. We discard the Field of Ruin. I gotta hit OK before that. Let it resolve. Targeting us. See what they choose. Meemaw, meemaw. Okay. Come on, opponent. Really in the tank on if they're going to take anything or not, or what they want to take. I think our best bet here is to just play out Mentor and cross our fingers. Mentor can close the game in a hurry. Obviously, though, if we're getting domed for 4 every turn, obviously we're going to win this race, though. But let's see if they have a counterspell. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, if you guys haven't, if y'all haven't played with Monastery Mentor yet, the card's insane. The card is egregious how much power it puts onto the battlefield. In blue-white control, it can be a bit of, there can be some hoops you got to jump through to get it to work because we have so many counter spells and stuff, and a lot of our spells rely on our opponent doing things and our opponent having creatures on the battlefield typically, but it's still insane. So, and now we've even got Colonnade ready, so yeah, I'm just taking this, and what do we want to discard? This Detention Sphere, maybe? The Snapcaster Mage. I like having Snapcaster Mage. So I'm going to discard the sphere. I know that seems crazy, but I think they've kind of proven to us that their hand isn't too great at this point, and they're really, really relying on this Snapcaster Mage to go the distance for them. So let's see our opponent, what they want to do. Chase the Mind Sculptor, that's pretty good. We gotta force that, unfortunately. But luckily, we do get to make some tokens. So we are actually 1 point of damage away from killing our opponent, too. If we can draw a Path to Exile, we actually just win if they don't have any interaction. Because we can attack, and then after our attacks have been declared with Colonnade, we can tap it. Oh my gosh, they had a Dispel. Okay, well, that's a horse of a different color. Wonder why it took so long. That's really weird. Yeah, they're going to bounce Mentor. Unlucky, but I think we just bash with Colonnade here. Sometimes you just got to go for the win. Oh, we don't have enough mana. Oh, shoot. Okay, in that case... In that case... we get to kill their Jace the Mind Sculptor. Maybe. What do they got now? Oh my goodness. Wow. Fatal push. Cool, cool. I like opt to try and find a land. I know that sounds crazy, but now we can just start doming them. Now they've got to make a decision. Do they want to attack Narset? Or do they want to just attack us? Because currently we're still winning the race. Yeah, they're going to kill Narset. Okay. Maybe they have another fatal push. Be really good for them. They do get to brainstorm, of course. Depending upon what we draw, will determine how I want to play this next turn. I'm inclined to try and just kill them with the colonnade. But then brainstorming really, really has me hesitant to do that. I assume they probably don't have too many... Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's not great. That means they get to go get Batterskull. They won't be able to attack with it though, so... If they draw a land, they'd be able to equip next turn. Well, yeah, that kind of settles what we're going to do this turn. Kind of takes the decision making out of it for sure. Got to play to win, right? We shall see. Let's see if they draw that land that they need. Because if they draw the land, they can Stoneforge in the Batterskull and then equip it to Snapcaster Mage. And they gain 8 life, which be real rough. The likelihood of them doing that is actually pretty high, so... Oh, no. They did it. Esper Charm is very good. Esper Charm is extremely good. Getting us to... Yeah. Now we go to 2. We'd need to find, like, Path to Exile here. Narset. I have no interest in blocking here, so... Path to Exile is really the card that we need here. Oust would do it as well. Double spell. Oh my gosh, double spell snare. Okay, well that's that. Yeah, I mean that was a great game though. Had fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you dig the content. Make sure to hit that thumbs up down there to like it. Tell your buddies about it. Again, LessAlex. I do have a podcast called The Control Freak Podcast. New episodes every single Monday about blue-white control in Modern. So if you dig this kind of content, I'm sure you'll like the podcast. I have a bunch of guests on there. And yeah, shout out to Team Solitary Pro for sponsoring me as a player and sponsoring the podcast. So definitely let me do this kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for hanging out and thanks for enjoying the video. And yeah, as always, make sure to be kind to one another, Magic players. Have a good night.